Well, at tonight's Alexandria City Council meeting, the council did not approve a proposed ordinance on the utility disconnects that, if it were approved, would have protected customers from having their services shut off during extreme weather like a heat advisory.
Mr. Fowler? No. The motion fails.
I felt like this is something that was needed, and it didn't happen.
In a 4-2 vote with one member abstaining, the Alexandria City Council voted down a proposed ordinance that would have set guidelines for when the city's utility department cannot turn off services during extreme weather. Councilwoman Cynthia Perry was behind that ordinance, calling the measure not debatable and common sense.
We're doing this to help the citizens, you know, so why would we have to debate something that is going to benefit our city?
Jim Villard was one of the 4 members to vote against that ordinance. Villard claims the city of Alexandria already follows a policy set forth by the Louisiana Public Service Commission. Private utility companies under the LPSC are banned from disconnecting services, specifically when a heat advisory is issued. Councilwoman Lizzie Felter agreed with Villard.
Another thing that I was concerned about was the need for the ordinance in the first place. According to our policy for the city of Alexandria, we don't cut off during the extreme heat issues.
Despite these claims, during an investigation by KALB earlier this summer, the city's utility director, Mike Marcotte, told us via email in June that there are no rules and regulations that detail when the city cannot disconnect utilities. Marcotte added that under Mayor Jacques Roy, the city is explicitly directed to follow LPSC guidelines, despite there being no written rule to reference. Also, if that were the case, the city would not have shut off utility services to customers back on June 26, as KLB's investigation revealed. That same day that there were disconnections, a heat advisory was in place.
If something was in place, why did those utilities get disconnected?
Perry said she wrote that ordinance to protect customers, even those behind on their bills, from utility disconnections during extreme weather. This summer alone, there have been dozens of days with triple-digit temperatures.
This is something that...
A sticking point for the council, if an ordinance was too far. Perry's measure, if it had been approved, would make the LPSC's guidelines law for Alexandria. While Perry and Councilman Reddix Washington, the only members to vote for the ordinance, say this is necessary, others disagreed.
Are other municipalities in the state that have their own utilities, and no other place has an ordinance like this. Because sometimes when you're looking at utilities, we're private. Other places like Clico Energy, they're public. So when they have procedures and guidelines, it's not putting it into law like when you're a municipality.
What the main thing we missed out on tonight, I feel, is the difference between policy and ordinance. A policy can change day to day from the administration. Doesn't matter if it's this administration or the next administration, a policy can change. Once we put forth an ordinance, we set a law that says this is what Alexandria, Louisiana will follow.
Now, since that ordinance was voted down, Alexandria still does not have specific rules regarding utility disconnects during extreme weather in their city code. But according to Utility Director Mike Marcotte from previous emails that he sent to us, the mayor does direct the city to follow those rules that are set forth by the LPSC.